Hello and welcome to Better.com's Top Fighters of 2010. Now, while the rest of us were enjoying Christmas, we locked our boxing expert Gareth, that's a young man over here, in our video vault. We were only letting him out for the occasional slice of turkey and a mince pie, but it was well worth it because he's produced the definitive list of the top fighters for the year. So Gareth, at number 5 you've got Amir Khan, and this was really his coming of age year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the year he went over to crack America. I don't think he was particularly well known over there before this year. And first off, they set him up with Paul Malignaggi. He's a bit of a feather puncher.
Yeah, he's a feather puncher to them, not to us. But anyway, carry on.
yeah, he hasn't got a great knockout record.
Sure.
There was questions over Khan's chin, so that was just like an introductory fight. But then he dispelled some of them rumours by taking on Marcos Mediana, and he did well to come through that. It was a tough fight for him. He wobbled a few times, but his defence is looking much better, and he looks like a better all-round fighter, I think.
I mean, he really erased the Breeders' Prescott fight there, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even against Malignaggi, even though he doesn't punch particularly hard, he still had his gloves up higher. He just looked a lot tighter his defence, and I think like, in boxing terms, probably a year, like he went from sort of a bit like going from a boy to a man in some terms.
Now, number 4, you've got Marco Huck, and I'm not being unkind to the man, but he's barely a household name in his own household. But he's making a name for himself in 2010, you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, if it's because it's the cruiserweight division. It's not like the coolest division. Everyone watches it. All his fights are in Germany, so it's definitely not a household name. But he's one of the most active fighters out there. I think he had 4 fights this year or something. He took on Lopez, who's like one of the top fighters in the cruiserweights as well. Came through him, no problem. He's just a solid fighter. I don't think he really gets the recognition he deserves.
Tough also, because I mean, you say he came through Lopez. He came through with a bit of damage to the ribs. I mean, Lopez hit him, and he didn't flinch, did he? It hurt like hell, but he didn't flinch.
It was a brutal fight. I mean, they're both heavy hitters. It was always going to be a slugfest from the start, and I think he proved himself one of the most solid fighters in the world.
Outside chance if he cleans up the cruiser division entirely, he might go up and push his luck?
I mean, it's there for the taking for anyone, as David Hayes shown. Anyone prepared to make the step up. Depends if you can like carry the weight and stuff, but yeah, certainly.
Now, number 3, you've got Manny Pacquiao, and about the only surprise to me was he's number 3.
Yeah.
But come on.
Well, I mean, he probably should be number 1, but I get a bit bored of seeing him number 1 all the time, to be honest. But I mean, like he can do no wrong, really, can he? I mean, his first fight of the year against Joshua Clottey wasn't the most exciting, but again, it was easy for him. And then he obviously stepped up to light middleweight, which is pretty amazing, considering he started off such a little guy. Margarito towered over him, but he just took him apart. It's just so easy for him, isn't it? So he probably should be number 1, but I wanted to be a bit different. But
also, I think you got a point there that perhaps he's number 3 because he's Manny Pacquiao, but there's got to be somebody in the other corner who's actually going to make it a number 1 fight. Yeah,
definitely, and it always just comes back to that Floyd Mayweather fight, doesn't it? Which,
well, get it sorted for us. Come on, you've got the power, you're the man.
I'm trying to, but my contacts aren't coming through quite yet.
I'll have a word with somebody. Have a word with Bob Aaron. Come on, get it sorted, please, for the sake of all of us.
I'll give it a go.
Now, number 2, you got Juan Manuel Lopez, and possibly he's one of the guys who could be stepping into that level, not necessarily against Pacquiao and that, but into that sort of level of fighters in 2011.
Yeah, I think I think he could be boxing's next superstar in a way, like a household name like the Pacquiao and the Mayweathers. He's moving up the divisions, very similar to Pacquiao, and he's gone up to featherweight now, and he's exciting to watch, but it's like he's gone straight up and he's taken on quality in like Burnaby Conception and Rafael Marquez, they're top fighters, and he's come through them easy enough. He went down with flash knockout against Conception, but that was more luck than anything in my opinion. But yeah, he's had a great year, and he's really one to watch for the future.
So that leaves us with the number 1 spot, the main man. Now, you could have picked from the likes of David Haye, Klitschko brothers, Timothy Bradley, a little lower down the weights, Miguel Cotto. Hell, you could have gone for Audley Harrison. But you end up with Sergio Martinez. So what makes him the number 1 for the year in your book?
Well, he just pips Harrison, to be fair, because A-Force is all over it each year. But I think Martinez is a great story. A couple of years ago, he couldn't get a manager. He couldn't. No one wanted to know. 2009, He drew against Kermit Sintram. He lost to Paul Williams, and then suddenly 2010 starts. He's outpointed Kelly Pavlik. He's a middleweight champion, and then he goes on and knocks out Paul Williams with definitely the best knockout of the year. It was a great punch, and it's just like one of them dream scenarios that boxing's all about, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
He just the way he's rejuvenated his career, and he's had a great year. I think boxing's basically his oyster now. He can do whatever he wants. He can fight whoever he wants. He can move up and down in division, and he's got to be very happy with his year.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. There's the top 5. Do you agree?